All right, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for joining me for Tech Talk today. Yes, I always look to Michael Palmer for that because he does it.
I know where the heck I am.
So, okay. But listen, AI. How many of us have explored AI deliberate tools? I know Catherine has. Anybody? Which one, Cass?
The ChatGPT playground.
Oh, okay. How many people have tried ChatGPT Playground?
We have.
Oh, you have? Okay. So I'm going to go in there because I queued it up because I'm just so blown away by it. Right? What is the thing that you like the most about it, Cass?
Oh, you can tell it to do anything. One of the people that I'm building a website with has a part of code that he hasn't used in like a year. And he just went in and gave all the parameters and said, write me the code for this. And poof, there was the perfect code.
Have you tried it? Does it work?
Oh, yeah. The code was exactly what he needed. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wrote a blog. I like to write my own blogs, but I wrote a blog in conjunction with ChatGPT, and it was pretty great. It did all the research for me in one screen in like 2 seconds, it felt like.
Yeah, it's really, really something. And Sheila and Maggie, if you guys have not used this, I'm going to show you something that's probably you're going to say that's neat and that's something I need to utilize on a daily. So here we go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so let's go ahead and so Sheila, imagine that you want to write an article about something, right? What would the topic be?
Maybe some health benefits on something.
Okay.
Let's say black cumin seed. That's something I've been exploring lately.
Sorry, what was the last part?
Black cumin seed, health benefits.
Okay, all right. That's niched. Let me ask the question. Can you write an article about black cumin seed? SEEDS. Did I spell cumin wrong?
1M.
Oh, is this one? Okay. All right, here we go. Can you write an article about black cumin seeds? And then this is what happens. Black cumin seeds. And there she goes. Right.
So I haven't used this particular part of it. I've used the playground part, and you can be really specific. You can say, write an article that it's in a question and answer format that is 8 questions long, that has health benefits, and you can be really, really specific. It's wonderful.
Okay, so because I needed 2 articles for a client of mine on renovations of their home, a bathroom renovation and a basement renovation. So I ran it through this, and I thought it's just going to give me like 300 words, but no, it just went on. And look at this. This is all on black cumin seeds, right? because Sheila asked, and it is just as a supplement and then a conclusion, right? I think.
Tell you how many words it is when it's done?
No, but then you could plop it into to word count and it'll tell you, right? So, but basically, here is an article that it was written on black cumin seeds that is pretty substantial, and if you can go through it and read it and see how it is. But I found that it's pretty amazing. And here's the crazy part, Cass, how much is this platform?
Well, I mean, if you come to me, I'll sell it to you for $9.99 a month. But if you go to there, they'll give it to you for free.
That's right. It's free. It's free, right? Free. So, of course, yesterday playing around, and I love tech, so I was pretty excited. So I said to her, I call it her. I said, you are awesome. You should come up with a name for yourself so I know what to call you, basically. And she goes, hey, thanks for the kind words. As an AI language model, I usually go by the programming name ChatGPT. However, you're welcome to come up with a name for me if you like. I said, Rosalind. Rosalind is the name I like to call you. She goes, that's a lovely name. Thanks for giving me a nickname. Feel free to call me Rosalind from now on. Isn't that nice? Imagine if this was a robot rolling around and you could ask it questions and it would say, hey, robot, give me an article. And it would say, okay, here's the article. Would you like me to just send it to your desktop? Yeah, send it to my desktop. Done, right? And you just said, thank you. By the way, thanks, Rosalind. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on this thing? Is this not crazy?
That's amazing because, I mean, I've been on AI copy for a good 6-8 months, right? So, and I got a good coupon, so it cost me like under $200 for the year.
Right.
But that does exactly what it does, what the other one does, because you still have to go and get your own links and stuff like that for,
right.
Because for SEO, that's not any good, right?
And I also found that with copy.ai, which does a good job as well, I found that because it seems to pull random things together, sometimes you have to go in there and massage it a lot more than this. Whereas in the two articles that I did before, and then the original one, the original article that I did, I had asked it, I said, listen, can you tell me a story, just a story about a positive business networking experience? And it gave me a really nice, cute, quaint, short story. Very, very well structured, And I was like, what? Like, is somebody out there quickly typing in my story? Because it's just too intelligent. The way that it comes up with it. Alessandra, have you ever tried it? The ChatGPT app.
No, but I had a friend who was enthusing about it last night. So we have a group of friends and we play Dungeons and Dragons together. So our friend that makes the story, he was using it and he said, lo and behold, as he was typing in our plot lines, he said the chat AI thing actually found 3 plot holes within the story and managed to come up with a character that resolves those issues, which I thought was wild.
That's amazing.
Is that crazy?
The books I see my son with are like this, right? Coming up with storylines for D&D.
Yeah, so now you can use the chat bot.
There is an app for that. That's pretty amazing.
Is that an app, or do you just get something off of Google, or how do
So you have to set up an account. So you go to to openai.com and you set up an account, right? And then once you open that account, then you can then you just go in there and it says new chat, and then you just ask it a question. So I find that asking the question, as in, can you write me an article about this? It'll do it, right? And Cassandra's talking about being able to drill down and ask it other things or put in code. And so there's so much that it's doing. And when you sign up, it tells you, listen, they're testing the AI, right? They're testing it. So we're the guinea pigs that it's using to see how its algorithms are functioning. I don't think it needs to test much longer because it's pretty spot on, this thing, for me, right? Maggie, go ahead.
Okay. I read an interesting article. I get this couple of writers' newsletters come in, and I read an article recently on the chat, whatever, and it actually brought up some of what could be some real negatives, like some of the moral implications. For instance, like with students, assignments. Okay, they're assigned to write something. If they could just go to this casting, and I guess it's starting to get good enough that they can, how are you going to tell if they wrote it themselves or if they just, put in some parameters and had this to do? And how is that going to affect learning and ability to learn? Also, the other thing for writers as well, I write articles, and if I can just go write this, okay, then I'm suddenly putting, and if I'm putting my name on it, is that ethical or not? There's a whole ethical side to this. That, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fun. It looks like it's fun to play. I haven't played around with it yet. I'll get around to it eventually, but there's this side of it could be fun, and I could see it being, it could be a valuable tool for many things, but there is this ethical side of it too.
Okay, so let me.
For students, and also, how's this really going to affect us? If we can have a machine do like essentially a machine do our work for us.
I have Catherine. Sorry, Maggie. I feel the same way, Catherine. I have that same dilemma, right? Because same dilemma. Because back in the days when I was building websites, I'd have to open a page up and start with my opening code and type it out, and that's it. Today, you can go to Google and or whatever, GoDaddy, and you can pick a template and you can build out your website and have it built in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Right. There goes $1,800 out of my pocket. You know what I mean? Like, you can just go and do it yourself. You can go to WordPress, which is free. You can get a free WordPress template, and you can get then free Elementor and just go ahead and just drag and drop components into a website.
There is a learning curve to Elementor, but it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
It's amazing. It is amazing.
So let me ask you that then. Because I did do my own website when I started, and so maybe I can equate this to what Maggie's talking about. I could only, because it's not my forte, it's not my main business. I didn't spend as much time on it as I guess you would need to, like you do. So I got to a point where it stopped growing and becoming professional and polished.
Mm-hmm.
So then I had to come to you guys, right? I wonder if Maggie were to do something in group GPT chat and then write it would she be taking it to that next step, that elevation, that polishing?
Right. So
you're equating that to you losing that ability to do a website, because you still do a gazillion websites.
Yeah.
Even though this WordPress and all this stuff that Cass is talking about is around.
Yeah. So with me, just like with Maggie, there are people out there that will not want to go through this. They just don't want to do it. So they'll go to Maggie, they'll pay her whatever, right? There are people that don't want to build a website. No matter how easy it is, no matter how free it is, they're still going to pay me and I'm going to go do it, right? Because it's not just building the website. It's not just writing the article. Because Maggie knows that they go to this, they write the article once. They have to go back to that every single time. They might not want to do it, right? They don't want to have to come up with the concepts, the ideas that they have to plug into this for this to spit out the article. So they'll go to Maggie come up with the idea, they pay Maggie. Of course, Maggie does not give them the idea until they pay, because they'll just take the idea and go to this and it'll be written, right? So that's how that works. But
and also too, the one thing too, because of my specialty in travel, I'm sorry, but when you go there, like, okay, when I did the Thousand Islands article for Lakeland, I literally had to, because I couldn't get over the border, I went to our side, to the cities I was doing there, but they also she'd give me a list of cities. And I literally had to do the American side from research and watching videos and things I couldn't get over. But to me, it's not the same. It doesn't have, doing it from just basic research does not have the flavor kind of thing. And the feeling, you have to go there, experience it now. Yeah,
Let me just jump on this, because it's a really interesting point, right? Because Maggie is seeing it through her eyes and she's writing about it based on that. But this AI algorithm, so I don't know, but I think that what would be an interesting exploration, Cass, is for Maggie to go on there and say, just based on something that she's already done in the past, an article she's already written, and punch in those parameters and say, hey, write me an article about the Thousand Islands, just leave it at that and see if it's smart enough to pull in things from the American side, from the Canadian side, whatever, and what it's going to do. I think it's so interesting that, again, people who want things for free, right, are going to find these tools and they're going to get it for free. Now, let me just tell you this. I'm not saying this is a negative, because every small business, every startup wants free. They can't afford much else, right? If they're under financed, right? So imagine that you can go to GoDaddy, you can create a free website. Then you can go to this and say, can you write my content for me? And it writes the content for you professionally, and you stick it into your site, right? Then you say, listen, can you crank out 5 articles about what I do, and then you stagger those articles over the next 5 weeks, right? That you put out an article every single week. You're doing all of this without having to hire a writer, without having to hire a social media person, a web developer. I mean, just there, I'm thinking there's a $3,000 savings right there, right? So is that a good thing? I think it's a net gain, I think. And you know what? And I mean, I guess one day, Maggie, writers and marketers like myself are going to be an endangered species that the government's going to have to give us bailouts. But the point is, for right now, I think it's good. So, okay, so let's jump into microphones. By the way, can you imagine Alessandra or Sheila 5 years from now, where AI is going to be? Like, where those algorithms are going to be, right? It's going to be
amazing.
Yeah. You're going to pull up ChatGPT and you're going to hit, new chat, and it's already going to have it written because it knew what you were thinking. You know why? Because your Alexa or whatever has heard you talking about it, and it just went ahead and created it for you. Is this what you're looking for? That's the future.
Just kind of on that. I've been the last person to go electronic with my rosters for my teaching, because everybody else has to send it in to me, however they send it in. And so I'm trying to figure out, so I've got this sign and fill, but I had a really big class yesterday. And so I couldn't actually use my tablet for my display, because by the time I would have got it, it was crazy, right? And so I'm already asking, gee, do I have that one that's speech?
Mm.
How you can, and it's Adobe. So wouldn't it have been nice if they could have touched it and went, yeah, Catherine Davies, Catherine@lifesubmerged.com. I pulled up the signature and they just signed. How easy would I have got 15 people through?
Wow.
And then I had people that were a little older than me, maybe in their like late 60s, right? That were like, how do you do this? Where's the @ sign, on a keyboard? Like a keyboard in front of you, but they were having problems. So that I can't imagine if my little brain can come up with, I want the next step already.
Right. Yeah,
right? In
absolutely.
5 years, in a year, I can't wait.
Yeah. Like, how many people like getting into a car that doesn't have roll down windows? Like, you got to crank it, right? It's like really, right?
Yeah.
And actually, I saw a really nice car. It's an older car, and I thought, wow, that would be amazing. A convertible, like 1950s. And then I thought instantly, no. Airbags. I need airbags. I need security. I need Bluetooth. I need, there's things that I now can't do without, right? So technology, no matter how much nostalgia we have, we don't want to go back.